A very good afternoon to all my dear students. Today the topic of my lecture is economic life of the project. Now, what do you mean by economic life of the project? Economic life of the project means that what is the actual life that an project can sustain with the least amount of economic burden. When the least amount of economic burden is there upon the owner, that means that is a faithful economic life of an project. So let us start with this topic. First of all, we would like to start with the introduction to this economic life of the project. Economics is a study of flow of finance from production to consumption of goods and services. So basically, economics is what? It is a study of flow of finance. When we talk about the flow of finance, means flow of money, flow of rupees. When we talk about the economics or the economy or finance, then we talk about the economics. Economics is a study of flow of finance from production to consumption of goods and services. So when we talk about the production issues, when we talk about the production, that what is the content of amount of money that is invested in production system, and what is the content of money that is spent or that is consumed out of that goods and services. What is the amount that is spent upon production, and what is the amount of money that is earned from that production. Firstly, we have to invest the money to produce something, to produce certain amount of goods. Rather, they are your, garments, your clothing, your utensils, your sports goods, or whatever the goods are. The amount of money that you are spending or investing in the production system, that is known as your economics in terms of finance, that is in terms of investment. And after your investment, once the products are ready to use, once the products are ready to be taken to the market for selling purpose, once the products are ready to be sold to the retailers for selling in the market, so that after selling, what is the amount of money that you're earning out of it? What is the amount of your profit that you're earning out of it? Now that is very important, isn't it? That is actually very important because firstly we have to invest something for for your savings and for everything. And after investing, after putting some effort on investment, what is the content of money that you are taking out of it? What is the content of money that is being utilized or that is being taken in terms of profit from the market? That is your economics. So that is the basic definition of economics basically. So economics is also an art as well as science that studies those activities of social, real and normal human beings which are related to work. Now that is one of the major application of economics, that it is economics is just economics is what? Economics is just an art as well as science. It is an art as well as science that studies those activities of social, real and normal humans. What is the actual social beings? What is actual science that is involved behind it? What is the actual normal, human beings which are who are working behind it, on how they are being benefited from the term economics, how the human beings are benefited from the economics term, and how that knowledge of economics is very much helpful to social beings, to society and to normal human beings. And what is the worth of it? What is the real worth of it? That is very important to know. Okay, that is the real definition of economics. Construction activity includes every aspect of economics. All the construction activities which are involved in your day-to-day life, that we have construction of dams, we have construction of bridges, we have construction of roads, construction of buildings, construction of offices, hospitals, schools, colleges. So whatever the construction work is going on, that construction is not complete without the knowledge of economics. If you don't have the knowledge of economics, then you're not complete. Why cannot complete? Because construction is not possible without the knowledge of economics. I don't have an idea how much I'm going to spend upon my construction work. What is the estimation I should make for my construction work? There always a pehle budget and estimation. There is always a prior budget and estimation cost, which is calculated before starting of any construction, program. Any construction program is not started until or unless we are having a complete budget analysis and the cost estimation analysis of that project. If we don't have such analysis, that means we are not complete with our project. We should have the complete analysis about that project, so that we can understand that this much we are going to spend upon it and this much we are going to take out of it. So that is most important. Construction industry gives employment to million workers directly or indirectly. And the construction industry, this construction industry is very much employable, because we all know that construction work is the work that is never stopped. Once the construction work is complete at one end, it starts at other end. So it is very much employable. We all know that the construction work has put a very huge hike in few years because of construction of various roads, broadening of roads, 4 lane, 6 lane, then bridges, construction of dams, construction of flyovers. There are so many construction works are going on day to day life. That means this profession is a complete employability, uh, a era for the new, youngsters and young civil engineers. So it gives employment to million workers directly or the indirectly. Directly or indirectly means some are, fourth class people who are working as a laborers, some are the superintendent over them, some are the team leaders, some are the managers, some are the team leaders, team managers. So in this way, the hierarchy is made and millions of people are really employed for this construction work. It consists of benefit cost analysis, budgeting, accounting, and different technique of applied economics. So various kind of budgeting techniques are there, accounting techniques are there, different techniques of applied economics are involved in the process of project estimation. Now, what are the various types of economy? Basically, when we talk about types of economy, we are talking about what are the two major types of economies which are really applicable in today's world. So first is your microeconomy. Microeconomy is what it offers a detailed treatment of individual decisions about particular commodities. When we talk about the individual decision from particular commodities, that is the study of households decision whether he prefers bungalow to flat, and developers decisions whether construct a bungalow scheme or apartment. So it offers a detailed treatment of individual decisions. Like as a owner, as a buyer, I have certain commodities, I have certain, decisions or certain choices about my house that I'm going to buy. I want a house, a 3 BHK, a 4 BHK, or I want a 2 BHK house. And of course, I have a budget too. I have a budget of 20 lakhs, I have a budget of 40 lakhs, a budget of 60 lakhs. According to a budget, I'll prefer to have 2 BHK, 4 BHK, or 6 BHK. So it depends upon the various kind of commodities that we have and various kinds of decisions and choices that is actually there. So it depends upon the individual decisions. As an individual, I have a decision that I want this kind of a house. As a developer who is a developer of the bungalows, flats, rather, they have their own decisions that they want to construct their flats or they want to construct the bungalows. So it is a microeconomy is basically the individual decisions. It is not decision of a government or it is not decision of a single person. It is a decision that is taken from person to person and it varies, of course, from person to person. It is not same for everyone. It is varying for person to person. I have my own choices. You people have your own choices. So your choices are from your point of view. My choices are from my point of view. So in this way, microeconomy is differing from person to person and from individual to individual. Then the second type of economy is your macro economy. Now, what do you mean by macro economy? Macro economy emphasizes the interaction in the economy as a whole. It tells us about the interaction as economy as a whole. What is the total interaction period and how we can actually interact with our system, and it actually emphasizes on the interaction in the economy as a whole. What is the total economy and how this total economy is going to affect. So it treats all the goods as consumer goods and the study the interaction between the household decision and the developer's decision. So it treats all the goods as consumer goods. Matlab it is not an individual decision or individual commodity decision. It treats all the goods as consumer goods, and the study the interaction between the household decisions and the developer decision. It is basically a study that is taken into as a whole. That what is a study of the household decisions means that as an individual who has to buy a house, what are my point of views, what is my thinking about buying a house, what kind of house I want a flat or I want a bungalow, or I want, what is the average thinking of a people when they buy something. That is actually the household decisions. And developer decision means what is the commonest developer's decision. As a developer, what is my decision? As a construction developer, if I have to construct a bungalow or I have to construct a flat, what basis I have constructed? What is my decision? How I have emphasized on constructing a flat or constructing a bungalow, and why not any other thing? What was my decision? What was my point of view behind it? So it is on the whole, what is the household decision and developer decision? They combined to form a economy. They combine to form economy as a whole. So when we talk about this as a whole, when we talk about developers and when we talk about your this you know household decisions, that decisions make up the total type of economy. Then we have the principles of economy. What are the various principles of economy? Every project should complete within the stipulated time and resources. First of all, if I have been allotted certain projects, if I have been given some project, my first and prior duty is to complete that project within the stipulated time period. I have to complete my project within the given time, because that puts a very bad impression when I will not complete my project within the given time. Because while starting any project, a date has been given by the developer that we will complete our project by this date. I'll be completing my project by this date. So that is a one decision. ठीक है ना? So I have a one decision that I have to complete my project by this date. Now this date, up to this date I have to complete it, or by this date I won't be able to complete it. That is a decision of a developer. But if it doesn't come,
सर आवाज नहीं आ रही। हेलो।
The main objective of project economics is satisfaction of customer and constructor. अब सबसे बड़ा जो हमारा डिसीजन होता है या the main objective, what is the main purpose of the project economics is to satisfy the customer. First of all, my customer should be completely satisfied, and the contractor who is undergoing the this project of construction, that contractor and the customer both should be completely satisfied. Then only I can say that yes, that my project is completely satisfied, and my project is completely in a better way. Because first of all, it should be completed in the stipulated time. It should be completed in a given time. Second thing is that it should be the customer and the contractor both should be completely satisfied with the work. That is the main objective. The resources which is most scarce has to monitored first. Quality should be achieved with the optimum utilization of resources. Now, what is the most delicate part of my project? Suppose I am, I'm working on garment industry. Now, let's take example of garment industry. Okay, I'm working with a company. I'm working with an industry who is manufacturing the ready-made garments. Now, what is the most scary point in manufacturing of garments? First of all, what is the most scary point? Most scary point is the most thing that is not to be compensated at any way with the customer point of view. First one is the fabric. The fabric should be in demand as compared in the market. What is the most demanded fabric in the market nowadays? That is the most important thing over here. The second is the designing. What kind of design, what kind of pattern you are giving to the clothing, because patterns go on changing, the designing go on changing. Suppose if you talk about the bottom wears, like we have the jeans and pants, then the designing of these jeans and pants goes on changing. Sometimes it is bilkul sometimes it's bilkul narrow bottom, sometimes it's bell bottom, so it's like that. So if we design the outdated clothes which are not in fashion right now, then that won't be sold at any cost by the retailer, because that won't be purchased by any customer, because a customer wants to purchase those things which are demanding in market. Whenever we go to market, we always say that I want this kind of clothes, I want this kind of jeans, I want this kind of a top, which is the most going in fashion right now. And if you want a bell bottom jeans, and this shopkeeper will show you the this narrow bottom jeans, then what will happen? Will you purchase it? No, because the narrow bottom jeans are not in fashion now, so we not purchase them. So that is what is the most scary point, and that is the most crucial point while designing any project, or while starting with any project. First of all, we should make a market survey, that what is in demand right now, what is the most demanding thing in the market right now, which I can give, or which I can provide to my customers. The most demanding thing that I can provide to my customers, so that I can have more and more sales of my product. More and more sales means I should have to satisfy all my customers. What kind of customers? What kind of things the customers want actually? What kind of fabric they want? What kind of design they want? What kind of colors they want? Sometimes the colors are also in fashion. Some neon colors are in fashion, sometimes other colors are fashion. So we all these trends go on changing. So the manufacturer has should always have in mind that what is the latest trends that are going in the market, and how to cop up with the society with my given resources. Now second point over here is to ensure the quality with the optimum utilization of resources. Matlab, I have the resources, I have the raw material with me, and I have to utilize that raw material in such a way that it can be utilized by the most important ways. I don't want to waste my material. I want to utilize my material in a most efficient way and in such a way that it can be sold to a larger extent. And for that, I need to have the quality first of all. I need to give a good quality. The fabric should be good, the designing should be good, and of course, the way we stitch the things, the way we carry on the things to the market, that is also very important. So these all factors actually count the economy. So if we have all of these factors satisfied, then of course we can become a good economist. First of all, our project should be completed within stipulated time. Second is to satisfy all the customers and contractors. Third point is to have the concern about the latest trends in market. Plus, you have to satisfy all the customers to get the maximum outputs with the minimum amount of resources. Trying to complete my orders with a minimum amount of resources. That is my basic principles of economy. Then we have the simple interest. And then how to calculate the simple interest in case of this economic analysis. It is a quick method of calculating the interest charge on a loan. If you have any loan, what is the amount of interest that is charged upon it? Isn't it? Whenever we take a loan from the bank, we have to give a certain interest over that loan for every 1 year. It is 6%, 10%, 20%, depending upon the amount of loan you have taken and upon the charges that a bank offers as an interest on that loan. That is a simple interest. In return, the bank pays you interest based upon the interest rate. So what is up if we have some certain amount of fixed deposits in our bank, then what happens is we get a certain amount of interest over our fixed deposits, isn't it? We get it now. It is 5% or 6% or 7%, whatever the charges which are given by the center government upon the fixed deposits that we are getting after every 1 year. That is your interest rate. Simple interest is interest paid only on the principal. Now, simple interest is what? It is actually the interest paid only on the principal. Now, simple interest principal means what is the basic amount? What is the basic money that we have taken? Now, the interest that is taken as a simple interest is actually the amount that is paid only upon the principal amount. It is not paid on anything else. It is paid only upon the principal amount. So when you first deposit money in a saving account, your deposit is called the principal. So whenever we have any money in our account, that is in the saving account, that is taken as a saving account. Whenever you open any account in a bank, the account is opened in the name of saving account. And whenever you deposit certain amount of money over in that account, that is known as your principal amount. Principal amount is the exact amount of money that is present inside your bank account. That is your saving account. So that is known as your principal account. So next part of our interest category in this economic analysis is your what do you mean by compound interest? Basically, what do you mean by compound interest? Compound interest is when the bank pays interest on the principal and the interest already earned. Now, what is compound interest? Is compound interest is actually when the bank pays interest on the principal. One is interest that is actually paid upon the principal amount of your money, the money that is being saved in your saving account, the money that is kept in your saving account, that is your principal amount. Now, principal amount has some kind of interest over it, so that is known as simple interest. And one is the interest that is given upon the principal, and one is the interest that is already earned for that principal amount. Now, that is your other interest. So both of these interests are known as your compound interest. So compound interest is when the bank pays interest on the principal and the interest already earned. So compound interest is what? Actually, the interest that is actually earned till now plus the amount of principal that you have earned. The interest that is kept on or that is paid upon both of these amounts, that is principal and the interest that is already earned, is known as your compound interest. The balance in the principal plus the interest is also defined as a balance is the principal plus the interest. So more now, what is the balance actually there now? The principal plus your interest that is earned over it. The balance becomes the principal on which the bank figures the next interest payment when doing compound interest. The balance becomes the principal on which the bank figures the next interest payment. Okay. So it becomes the principal upon which the bank figures the next interest payment. After getting your interest for 1 year, now what is your principal amount? That the principal amount is the amount that is earned with interest. Now for next year, the amount that is with interest kept in your account is becomes your principal for your next interest. That is your compound interest principal. Now, what is the definition, basic definition of economic life of a project? Economic life of a project can be defined as age of the product beyond which it will provide to prove to be uneconomical. It becomes uneconomically unstable. It is economically not stable now. If I have a scooter that is 15 years old, now after 15 years, I expect that it should give me same output as it was giving in the first year of its purchase. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. After 15 years, it has become totally uneconomical for me. Why? Because it the average has been reduced now. First of all, it requires more and more servicing and maintenance cost. More spare parts are repaired. So in this way, my huge amount of money is wasted upon its repair and maintenance. So economic life of project means actually the life of project up till which it works with the most effective way, without any repairing, without any maintenance, without any specific maintenance basically. We have to give servicing and maintenance after a certain span of time, after 6 months or after 4 months. But it should not be like that every month I have to get it repaired from mechanic. That means my project is not in a proper way, or the economic life of project is over now. So economic life of project means that when the project is becomes uneconomical in actual ways. Okay, so that is your economic life of the project. Then types of economic life of project. One is a capital cost or the cost of investment. First is your capital cost or the cost of investment. Second is operation and maintenance cost. Second one is your operation and maintenance cost. So first factors on economic life of project means physical life is over for the project. What are the factors on which you can decide that economic life of project is over? The first thing is the physical life is over for the project. Physically, the project is not in a presentable way now. Because you can see that after 10 to 15 years, if I have a car, the car has already deteriorated in shape, in color, everything is becoming very fade and it looks very shabby when I take it out for some work. So physical appearance also becomes very, in a very degradable way it is seen. And the second point over here is when the maintenance cost increase per project. Yes, of course, when the maintenance is going on increasing every year, I have to spend a huge amount of money for maintenance of my project. That means it is not economically stable now. If I'm spending a huge amount of money upon the maintenance of my project, that means it is not economically stable. The aging of product. Yes, after certain span of time, like humans also age, isn't it? Humans also age in similar way. Machines also age. After 10 years, after 15 years, after 5 years, every machine has its phase, isn't it? We use some mobile phones. After 3 to 4 years, the mobile phones also the battery becomes corrupt, or your memory card becomes corrupt, the internal software becomes corrupt. So it becomes after 4 to 5 years, we have to change all these machineries. Electronic gadgets, they require a frequent, changings. So that is what is the law of nature and the factors on which this economic life is actually depending. So we are going to change on all these factors. We have to change them abruptly so that we can produce new and new things. So that is the law of nature, and of course we should know about this. So that is all about your factors and economic life of project. If you face any doubt, you can ask me. If you face any queries you have, you can drop your queries on the email ID that is dropped below. Thank you so much for joining.